And we're back with the Costello Coaching Podcast. I'm Tommy Costello with the man, Bradley Boyer. Big B, how we doing?
Really excited to be here with it's my boy Tommy Muscles, T-Dog, as I call him. So there's sometimes, though, it's kind of revolutionized into Tommy Muscles. This guy's getting ready for an Ironman, and I'm just pretty impressed with the way this guy's work ethic is.
Yeah, I love you, B. So Brad is not only a great human being and one of my great friends, he's an incredible hitting coach. So what we're going to do together is we're going to do a 10-part series on everything revolving around hitting. Today is really just about to get to know Brad and why he coaches. That's the biggest thing. I think when you're looking for coaches and you're looking for people to help you in this game, I think it's really important to ask yourself, why does this person do that? And so in today's episode, we're going to kind of uncover the reason why he coaches and why he finds the love in coaching. Brad, a little summary on his career. All-American at U of A, all Pac-12 or Pac-10 at the time. College World Series 2004. Drafted in 2006. Played 10 years of professional baseball. 2016 converted over to teaching hitting. Worked with some of the best big leaguers in the game, MVP All-Stars, you name it, and helps this next generation of hitting. When I think about Brad as a hitting coach, the first thing that I think about is, number one, he loves the craft. You love the craft of hitting. You love the swing. But more importantly, I think the reason that you do it, and I don't even know if I've ever told you this, but you lead with your heart when you do it. And I witness it every day. We get to work together in the facility here. And you lead with your heart when you're helping people. And I think that's what makes you so great, is you truly love the players that you work with. You care about them more than just hitting. And you'll do whatever it takes to uncover the techniques, drills, mindset that it takes for them to help them succeed. So without further ado, that's a long introduction. Bradley Boyer.
Yeah, Tommy, I really appreciate the compliments. The main thing is what Tommy was saying. I really do put my heart and soul into this craft. I've been obsessed with it since I was 4 years old. I can look back and my parents had Dodger season tickets, and growing up, I was able to go to the 1988 World Series and got to see Kirk Gibson's walk-off home run against Dennis Eckersley. And that right there kind of sparked my passion for the game. I mean, that really, really fueled me and drove me to be the best player I could be. But when I finished, like that moment right there is what drove me to really get into coaching. That was that small moment, and it turned into, I played 10 years, and now I'm 10 years as a hitting coach. And as Tommy said, I spend countless hours. This is not just in the lab. I call this the lab, which is, it's like we're creating music. I spend countless hours trying to perfect this thing and trying to help kids believe in themselves and grow their journey.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I witness it on a day-to-day basis, and that's interesting. I didn't know that story about the 1988 World Series. That was the first moment that kind of like sparked your love for baseball.
Yeah, so when I was a baby, I gravitated to just like grabbing a bat or a little ball, and by the time I was 4, I was, watching Sports Center and grabbing a wiffle ball bat and looking in front of the mirror, as I still do today at 42 years old. But after that moment, I was at that game with my dad, so that was a really special moment. And I spent, every weekend when I would stay up late and put that game on. That was when they didn't have DVDs. It's VHS. And
You're dating yourself a little bit, B.
What's that?
You're dating yourself a little bit.
Yeah. Basically spending these like late nights from like when I was 4 or 5 till I was probably about 16 years old. I would watch this every weekend and see the excitement, the roar of the crowd. That drove me and gave me my vision to be a professional baseball player.
Okay, this is one for you. What was the player you liked imitating the most when you played wiffle ball?
Wow, that would come down to, I think Ken Griffey Jr. was a very special player, as well as Bonds. Those were two guys, being a left-handed hitter, and I always thought playing backyard baseball or over the line was something that You don't see that as much today, do you, T? It's more. I see more kids in the cage, looking to hit, drive the ball and trying to create exit velocity. I was in there trying to imitate guys, trying to do my best, pimp job home run of those guys, and that's something that brought the joy and the fun in this game. I think sometimes we play with too much. We take this game too seriously.
Yeah, and keeping it fun. That's really cool. I love when hitting coaches will have a player, even like when I help guys with pitching, imitate a player. Try to throw like this guy, and they never really do. I mean, some are really good at like imitating someone perfectly, but some aren't. But what it can do, like on the technical side, is unlock some
special
movements
things
and some feels just by trying to impersonate another player. And I think that my generation, I feel like, was one of the last ones to kind of do that.
Yeah.
Where I remember like playing wiffle ball with my brother, and we would do like, all right, he's the Dodgers, I'm the Yankees. And I would do everyone's stance, righty and lefty. So I'd Derek Jeter, I'd have my hands real high, and I'd think about going the other way. A-Rod, you blow a bubble, and you kind of swing your bat up and down. Gary Sheffield, you start going. Mark Teixeira, you just feel huge, and you're the big lefty. And it kind of creates that imagination for a player. And I think the imagination and the creativity is so important when you're learning a skill and you're learning something, is stay in that fun, imagination, playful state, because it is a game.
Yeah.
And wouldn't you say like the players today, like that you work with, I think one of their biggest opportunities is that they're so smart and so educated on the game. They have so much data, so much technology.
Absolutely.
They have great coaching, they have great resources, endless Instagram and YouTube videos to watch, which is great. But there's almost a need to pull them back to the playful part of the game, the fun, the imitation, all of it.
Yeah, this game, you can get greedy or ego driven, and what I mean is, we want to hit the ball hard. We want to get caught up. Like when you post on Instagram, and you see these high exit velocity numbers. It's great. It's impressive to see the development of these young kids and the level of analytics that's allowing them to be these special players. But as you were saying, Tommy, there's this. I love the imagination and the creativity, because when you can get in the box and you're working in the cage, and like you said, you can unlock something special when you play around with different moves or you imitate your best player, just like with the pitching stuff. And I think there needs to be a little bit more of that. Some days, instead of just being so driven at looking at film and numbers, get back to, playing that, that sandlot kind of baseball. Yeah,
I think about Jacob Wilson, just he was always trying to like imitate like his dad's stance, and that's cool because it's like deeper. Like you look up to your dad and you have, someone who's an incredible big leaguer as your father and all those things. But his swing, no one breaks it down and says, oh, it's perfect by any means, but he rakes.
Yeah.
And he's mastered the art of the playfulness and the competitiveness, and he's one of the best players in the world at it. I'm not saying everyone has to do it that way, but I think he leans into that. And you watch like film of old hitters, in the 70s and 80s or even the 50s, 60s, and they didn't have any, data or, perfect biomechanics, but their objective was to go get a hit.
Yeah.
I feel like hitters today, you know more about this than me, but like hitters today, like will, fly out and they'll be like, oh, it was good launch though, good EV. Like I'm right on plane. Like my swing looked good. And it's like, I'm with you. Like I'm good to go back with some positive reinforcement. And like you're doing the right things. Like it's all going to work out if you do that in the long run. But at the end of the day, you didn't get a hit.
Yeah. And what about the art of winning the at bat, getting in the box and winning the at bat? And like you were saying, we get so caught up with, what scouts or what college scouts are there, or what, you're at this perfect game tournament. And like you said, it's about getting on base and driving in runs and scoring, and what happened to that mindset of getting in there and embracing the challenge and winning the at bat?
Yeah. So I get to witness it, and, I love the drills that you do. I love the feels that you create. You're so creative in the way that you teach. Like you as a 4-year-old kid, imitating these guys and watching the game tapes. of the players and how you kind of created it. I see it actually show up in the way that you're coaching guys on a day-to-day because I get to see it every day. I think it's hard, though. I think when players get in the cage all the time, and this could be actionable for a guy playing, when they get in the cage all the time, to be so focused on their mechanics, right? They want their mechanics to be perfect. They want to, square the ball up. They want, hit for power. If they have exit velocities to track, they're so obsessed with it. How do you help players like manage more gameplay strategy when they're in the cage? Like, do you have anything that you help hitters with in that regard?
Yeah, I think, you bringing that up, and that was something we were discussing maybe a couple weeks ago. I was literally getting out of the cage. I was, driving over to Sharky's, for my small, that little lunch break I get. And if you know me, when I'm at my restaurant or wherever I have a nice pen and notebook in hand. You could see me when I'm at Moody Rooster or wherever I'm at. And so a couple weeks ago, I'm driving, sitting down eating my steak burrito, and I'm all of a sudden I'm like, gosh, I got to emphasize more of becoming a hitter in the game, because there's that mechanic aspect. There's that, all right, I want to get my back elbow in the slot, or I need to bigger leg kick or this. But I was like, man, I got to help these guys win at bats. And how do I got to do that? And so I put my notebook down, and the number one thing I put down is first and foremost is create a highlight reel. Put on your favorite music and look at a highlight reel of your biggest moments. I know Derek Jeter, A-Rod, that was something I think I heard from Braun or somebody that those two guys would always watch highlight reels of themselves before they'd play. And so that was the first thing, is I was like, all right, I need to tell my guys and really emphasize, create and envision yourself winning that battle, and seeing yourself being calm and under control, and seeing the barrel being delivered into the ball, and really lock in your senses, lock in the roar of the crowd, the feel, and you slide in a second base or third. And then two was, I call, is these positive affirmations. We know that's really important. So I started writing that down. It's, I am dangerous. I will win this at bat. I am the man. I will see the ball well. Those affirmations, you will reap benefits, but you got to say it with conviction. And three, what I wrote down was, own your presence. Be a rock star. Get your alter ego. Be a rock star in that box. Own it. Have some swagger. Those were three, and I was writing into details, and I need to start. I was like, gosh, Brad, I got to start applying this into the cage more, because I'm so locked in. I'm perfecting, obsessed with getting their mechanics dialed, that I sometimes don't give them, the energy to like get in the box and win the at bat, And those were the things I wrote down. And yeah, Tommy. And there was there was a couple other things. Was control the zone. All right, win the at bat, and be on time for a heater and drive it through the frickin' batter's eye.
Yeah, it's a mentality.
Yeah.
So the first thing is like pregame routine. Watch a highlight reel.
Watch that highlight reel. Two is positive affirmations. I call it the I will mindset, or I am. Like, everything is I will, I am. I am dangerous. I'm the man. I will drive the ball in the gap. And three, own your presence. That is swagger. Be a rock star in there. Be an entertainer. That's something we really, that's something that.
I like it. That's playful and artful too.
Yeah. And you get the guys away from being so concerned with what's my coach thinking about me? Or I got to get a hit. Because now you're being an entertainer. And you come on, like, we all know when we got to college or whatever new jump we had, we were always concerned about, oh man, I gotta do something well, right?
Yeah, I gotta impress this guy, or I gotta do this for them. No, it's for me, or for my team.
Yeah. Be a superhero in the box. I don't know, use your imagination. And that's how I know that really is what clicked for me. And I can go back to like I call it the wiffle ball mentality. That occurred in 2009 because I was 0 for 34 to start a season in Double-A. Okay, that's 0 for the month of April. So think about it. I remember our last series in the month of April. We're in Portland, Maine, playing the Sea Dogs in Double-A. And I look up on the Jumbotron, and I'm 0 for 34, 0, 0, 0. What's the feeling that's going through me? You know me, like,
I might retire.
I might retire. I might hang it up. I mean, what am I doing? Like, do I got to go back and get my degree? And I remember I got called in, my manager called me in. He's like, Brad, thinking about giving you a week off. Do you have your college degree? So that right there kind of lit a little fire in me, all right? And the fire it lit, I remember going home that night, going back to the hotel room in Portland, Maine, had a little seafood, had a nice dinner like I always do.
Baby.
You know, and so I get into the hotel room and I'm like, Brad, like, things got to change. And what's got to change is not trying to get to the big leagues. I was so close, had a great year in high A. Now I'm in double A, I'm knocking on the door. And I was like, I got to win this at bat. So I was just grinding and I was like, Brad, you're going to thrive. You're going to get in the box and thrive. And we're going to do that by a wiffle ball mentality. Like you're playing, you go to Malibu and you go to the beach at Zuma, and that's how you're going to play with that wiffle ball bat. You're going to imitate Griffey today, Bonds. So literally, I'm the next day I show up to the park and I'm like, I am the man. I'm gonna do this today. And I got in the box in first AB. I was imitating Griffey and I hit a line drive, center fielder jumps and catches it. So I'm 0 for 35. Right? So you go back out to second base and I said, nope, Brad, it's not about quality at bats, it's not about hits, it's not about competing. Who cares if they release you? Your next at bat, you're gonna be Griffey or Bond, whatever. And so I got in the box. Line drive, opposite field, left fielder dives and catches it. I'm 0 for 36. So you can start to gravitate into the negative after that. Oh, this is it. This is my season. I'm getting booed. It's third at bat. I hit like a line drive, one hopper, second baseman dives and catches it, throws me out. So I'm 0 for 37 now. But I'm fighting the demons in my mind. I'm fighting them because, like, Brad, what are you going to do? You can go back to like, this is it. Or you can go back to the same thing. I'm going to have fun. I'm going to have a wiffle ball mentality. In fourth at bat, runners in scoring position. I got the closer. I got this Latin closer throwing 98 to 100. Throws me 2 first pitch splitties that I spit on. Then a 2-0 fastball. Hit it right past his forehead. I'm 1 for 38. Okay?
How good did that hit feel?
Man, I'm getting goosebumps right now thinking about that because that took a piano off my back. I was trying to not be stressed. But I stayed in it. I kept talking to myself. I didn't let the demons creep in. And we ended up winning that game. And from then on, I went on for the next couple months, I went on and hit like 450. Okay. And did I go back and do it again? Yeah, because I started creating expectations. I'm doing well again. I got up to 270. Now I went back into a 2 for 25 skid because why? I went back to creating expectations, T.
Yeah.
And I ended up that year, I finished in 09. Hitting like 296, led the league in triples. So that wiffle ball mentality occurred to me that's what I really got to get my guys, not just this like mechanic, you know, and my hands are doing this or that, but how can I have that $100 million mindset or that wiffle ball mentality to play with freedom and passion in the game?
That's beautiful. I love that. I've never heard that story. We've known each other a long time. Never heard that story. We've had a lot of dinners together, traveled together. Yeah, we've built a great community together. And just so you guys know, like anytime I have a hitter, I always say you need to hit with Brad. So the guys that come in and train with me, if they're hitters, they go and work with Brad. That's who I want them working with. And I had a big leaguer. He played a long time in the big leagues, actually, Hall of Famer. And he asked me, he's like, what do you think of Brad Boyer as a hitting coach? And I said, well, when push came to shove and my brother needed help, there was one guy I was going to call, and it was going to be Brad. And that says everything. Like, brother's most important person to me.
That's special.
And, you know, with his career, and it's like, that's who I'm going to trust. As I kind of say that, and as I listen to you talk about that story, I really want to know, and however you answer, but take your time.
Yeah.
Why do you coach?
I love to see kids pursue their dreams. I'm a visionary, and helping kids, you know, not just kids, you know, not everyone's going to make it to the big leagues and be a superstar, but to help, you know, the day in and day out when a kid shows up and, you know, you could be going through something, you know, with school or if it's sports related, whatever, but it's helping them be part of their journey and inspire them to help them become, you know, build their character, help them create integrity But the positivity, I want kids to believe in themselves, to feel like conviction, because there's so much negativity in this world, and a lot of outside noise, and we know baseball, like sometimes a lot of the coaches that I play for old school, they weren't building out of positivity, and that right there can weigh in a kid, and then they lose their self-esteem, they lose their swagger, and it carries on over into maybe the classroom or just life. And so for me, just to be able to be a mentor and a guide, and to just keep building them so they can go and pursue whatever dream they want to pursue.
Sweet. And that's what motivates you to show up and coach every day.
Well, I am a strong Christian, and I feel like there's a purpose every morning when I get up. God's given me, I feel, for me, I wanted to be a big leaguer. I wanted to be the guy that made $100 million. I mean, that hurt that I didn't get to do that, but then I knew I was destined just from a young age. I was always I was fascinated, man, by the swing, and by seeing the movements of these hitters and the excitement. And through baseball and building a hitter, I can also build these young kids and to be these men that go and have great careers, and they're going to be able to see me one day and come back after they graduate college or from the job, and I see them out somewhere in a restaurant, and just that they can tell me that they were grateful that I was part of their journey. Yeah. That's and I've had kids do that, and that really hits home.
That's awesome. That's a great place to wrap up episode 1. We're back for 9 more episodes, so there's going to be plenty of insights from Big B coming up.
Let's go, T-Dog. Let's do it.